Hi guys, good morning. It's 5 a.m. and I've got all of my cozies on. But yesterday I uploaded a video that shared my new website built with Claude Code, a Next.js website using CMS using Sanity as a CMS and hosted on Vercel. And that video showed you a walk around of the process and how that works, but also stated really that I can't think of a reason to keep my older WordPress and Etch version live when I have this new shiny one. So it's 5 a.m. as I mentioned, and I thought, right, I'll actually push it to live. But there was one thing that I realized I needed to bring over that I hadn't yet. And I thought, well, I want to show you just how this process works. Let's tie it up together, shall we? So this is my new site. This is the old one. Oh, where are we? There we are. Okay, and the one thing that I realized I hadn't yet brought over is this standalone page called the free lead generation calculator. Now I built, custom made this, and what it does is it takes some simple business numbers and spits out the results. So, if your average product service price is £50 and you have people coming to you 4 times a year, over 5 years, if they stick with you, this website will bring you in 10 grand, right? So it's a good little lead gen asset. And I thought, well, I need to bring that over. So this is the process, okay? I've jumped into Etch. I've taken all of the HTML. I've taken the JavaScript, and this is what I just want to share with you guys, just how it works. And then I've gone to my good friend Claude, the expert sitting next to me, and I've said I would like to whisk my lead generation calculator over to the new site before we do away with the old. It would be ideal if it attached to a lead gen form that states something like, would you like your personal action plan, blah, blah, blah. All right, so I'd like it to attach to lead gen. And then I've just splat in the HTML, which pasted in as a document, and all of the actual workings with the JavaScript. All right, so Claude's on board with this. Claude thinks it's an awesome idea. My Steve Wozniak is in full agreement with my little vision. And it starts to put it together. Okay, so great tool, and the CTA at the end is a smart idea. Yeah, everything's a go. What we're going to have is app lead generation calculator page TSX. So this is the structure that we're starting to learn for a Next.js site. Okay, so page TSX exists within this folder. I'll show you that. And then we need to rebuild the calculator as a React component. Okay, that sounds cool. State instead of DOM manipulation. So it's much cleaner. We're already onto some wins here. The same inputs: average price, return rate, retention years, new customer slider. All right, so that's great. Live result updating as they type or slide. That's what we've got now. So, everything's going ahead. And below the result, a CTA section. Want to achieve this? Get your free action plan. All right, so it sounds all great. This is the version as I put it together in Etch. So that was a bit more of a static sort of thing. And Claude has the vision. Okay, so this is how it works. The floating button, add a fixed button on every page in the layout linking to lead generation calculator. All right, so much as I have here. Oh, you can't see it on the actual page. So this button floats, always pulls people in. This is where we get to it. Tell Claude in Claude Code in Terminal 2 this. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this and jump over to VS Code. All right. This is what this whole rebuild has been like. I'm in Terminal 2 with Claude Code there, and I'm going to paste that out. This is when you have a little preemptive victory sip of coffee, because it is 5 a.m. after all. I always tend to have my little fingerless gloves. I absolutely love them. And I'm in the best thing ever right now, which is the almighty hoodie. It's a pretty cozy way to be fair. And actually, just while we're here, if you're unfamiliar with the Next.js layout, we have the app folder here. And you see that it's a folder, and then within it is page.tsx, which confused me at first, but then you have another one. You have contact, and then you have page.tsx. And then you have something like the component. So where my mind has been going with this recently is that I want to start creating components that are then they'll work a bit like breakdance templates and flexible fields, and apparently all of that is doable. That's my next experiment, because I believe that will give clients the page builder experience they need, even in this setup. This is Next.js. Strict Jamstack is not Next.js, I don't believe. But yeah, lots to explore. I'm just rambling now. Okay, so calculator page, I believe it's all done. Wow, is it all done? It's all done while I'm just yapping shit. Here's what we built. Calculator page, lead generation calculator, 4 inputs. Yeah, cool. Live result panel, great. So we should be able to see that in here. Oh yeah, lead generation calculator. Interesting. Okay, and then click on the page. This is what we've got, everyone. Look at that. It's just pasted it all together for me. Amazing. Section, div, free tool, lead generation calculator. Find out exactly what a better digital strategy could be worth to your business. Yes, I should have written that originally. Okay, cool. So let's go and see that on the front end. We see that it's here in our file structure in VS Code. Now, this is what would push up to GitHub, and then that gets hosted on Vercel. But first, we can preview this like on a staging site on the local server. So if I just find my local host URL in the browser, and of course I need to switch over to this view for you guys. So this is local host. Okay, so this is all pulling from VS Code. It's actually on the computer if you've not really used localhost, and we can see that we've got this button on the bottom here. So if I just move my face, we've got the calculator button, very similar to this one, free lead generation calculator. I think it needs to say that. Okay, but let's click on it and give it a whirl. Free tool, lead generation calculator. Find out exactly what a better digital strategy could be worth to your business. Excellent. Just want to check the heading structure on that, because free tool is not a great H1. Okay, so it should be lead generation calculator. This will be an exception to my little heading rule I mentioned in the video yesterday. Okay, so average price per sale. Cool. So let's look at that. That's lovely. How many times does a customer buy per year? 2.5. Okay, so we need to do a couple of things, don't we? Nobody buys 2.5 times. All right, so we need to change the increments on that. Average customer retention. Okay, 3. Cool. And new clients from your strategy. Okay. Look at that. So this is a really good visual example to people of just like how powerful this can be. So if you're speaking to someone who, they, I don't know, a hair salon or something, and they have average price of £50, and their customers maybe come back to them twice a year, and they retain customers for 2 years, and we've got more than one client, and we managed to pull in, say, you get a new website and it pulls in 20 clients. You can't argue that it's, the website is going to pay for itself. That's the idea with this. But obviously then we would, increase customer retention. We would assist with getting someone in for a bargain buy for a new haircut. You can see how that works. So this is a really, really great tool. It's almost perfect. What we need to do is I go back to Claude on this one and need to cover off a couple of bits. Okay, so I've made some requests to Claude. Okay, so need to correct the button, need whole numbers. I would also like the form to send me the results of the field and to ask that industry. And I'm just going to copy that into Claude Code, okay, which is terminal 2 in VS Code. You can't see that. I want to keep you guys in the picture. Great, so it's going to do that. Now, let's have a look here, because the heading structure is not something I'm so pleased with, and I can change that directly in VS Code in the layout. So the changes that I make in this area, which is why it's good that, if you have understanding of it, obviously they matter. So here we've got the H1 class name free tool. Okay, I would like this to be the an H1. Okay, so but I want it to look the same, so I don't think I need to change anything. Should we take the leap? Yeah. Cool. Because all of those should just be display anyway. Oh dear, have I ruined everything? Have I broken it all? Claude will laugh at me. Cool, so that's working away, and that should all be good. All right, so we'll let the terminal do its thing. Chand for 1 minute 16 seconds to sort this out. To do this manually, the time there is just crazy. Would be so much different if somebody said, right, can you do this? Can you do that? I want that to be whole numbers, not incremental by 0.5. Okay, so it's already saved out with my changes, hopefully. Let's see how that went. Maybe I shouldn't have done two things at once. Okay, so let's go back to the local version. Okay, so we've got 100, 2, and 1. That's exactly what I wanted, and 10. So it's all the defaults that I want. Let's test this increment. Yep, that's whole numbers. That's great. Let's have a look at the heading structure. Did it save it out as I wanted it to? Nope. Okay, so I just need to sort that out. Right, what I want to do is so I've just restored the page, so it was loading the previous one, and this is what I need to change. So really, I guess I shouldn't have done two things at once there, because it confused it and it was trying to overwrite the page, and I was here making manual changes. So naughty Chris, lesson learned. Now we've changed out some of the tags, and the styling should be the same. So Command and S and save it. Cool. Let's jump over to the local version and just refresh the page. Okay, so everything is working perfectly. Whoop whoop. All defaulted correctly, and let's just look at the heading structure. I hope it's right. Yay! Lead generation calculator, and then your numbers want to achieve this. Yeah, that's great. Have a look at the form. So your industry. Great. Okay, so let's just test that out. 4, 2, boom. Let's get more clients. Yay. Website pays for itself. And free lead generation calculator. Down here, the button is correct. Cool. So that is not yet live. Okay, so this is the local version. If I pop along to the actual live version here, it's not up there yet because we haven't committed it. So if you remember, the process is to tell Claude to commit that to GitHub. So commit. I cannot remember the command for it. So it's now sending that up to GitHub. That is going to trigger a rebuild in Vercel, and then we're going to see this as committed and pushed. Okay, so let's pop along to Vercel, and we see that there's a new version building. Okay, and that's how we update the site. So the good thing about this is that I work on a lot of client sites, and they're hosted on various panels, so cPanel or Enhance. Either way, you need to take a backup of a site before you do some significant changes. That change there, I would definitely have taken a backup before, because I'm messing around with an entire page or whatever. So you have to you back it up, you then stage it, or I tend to take a lot of backups and then do the work, preview it, and then push it to live. Here we've got this live working version of it. It's always a pre-version, and then you simply commit that. it will rebuild. And let's have a look at the actual version of the site. So I'm just going to refresh this. We just, see the button appear. I've clicked on that. It's all working perfectly. Wow. Excellent. Okay, so that was the last task I needed to carry out before I put this site to live. And now the intention is to put this site live. I've no need anymore for this older WordPress version. And again, as I said in the video yesterday, I can't think that I would promote this sort of version to a client when I can make them this sort of version. So yeah, lots to think about. Right, okay, hope you found that helpful, and speak to you soon.